Well, let's see how this works. I'm sure my audio isn't very good. Um, well, I tried to pull over. I am still in California, but I'm no longer stuck in California. I'm on the way home. I don't know if anybody can hear me or what, because I've never gone live from a cell phone. Um, yes, I am sick, if you're hearing that in my voice. So I'm trying to see if there's a way to see live chat. I don't think there is. Oh, there's Bob. Hey, Bob. Cool. So live chat apparently comes up on the screen. Can you hear me okay? If I sit back here, it sounds even worse. You're sick too, Havoc? Hey, Helen. Wow, you guys showed up real quick. Hello. I'm I'm in Redding, California. I'm back on the I-5 trail, and I'm sorry, my hair's messed up. It's been in the rain. Um, I wanted to go live from the inside of the restaurant. You're a little weak on the audio? Okay, so I'll, I'll get close I can here. Um, they closed down indoor dining, and so you're supposed to wear a mask here. And I've got my super N95, um, and I just went into a Dairy Queen, but they don't have a cappuccino mou latte, which is what I need to make it home safely. I need that incredible amount of caffeine and sugar right now that I'm used to. Um, so McDonald's has me covered with a next best option in a medium mocha frap. So this is my McDonald's break. Oh my God, my fries are getting cold. Okay, I forgot. Guys, I can't wait on the fries. Havoc says I ended up getting severely sick yesterday, but recovering nicely now. Oh, I'm so glad. Should have gotten a large. It's right. You're right, Wildcat. Sorry about that sound. I should have. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to eat in front of you guys, but this is going to get cold, and you know how bad that is. I'm addicted to the fries. I'm not real big on McDonald's food, but God, the fries. I need the fries. So I've just made a bunch of videos, but I didn't have much of a way to upload them. A palm tree tried to assassinate me yesterday. You already ate, so don't worry. Yeah, well, apologies to everybody else. I look great. Okay, thanks. I feel like trash. In fact, this is almost like beauty lighting. The McDonald's sign has one heck of a glowy fluorescent effect, doesn't it? Yes, Bob, I will be crossing Mount Ashland tonight. Oh, hi, sister. Hello. How did a palm tree do that? Well, um, it shed one of those giant shield-shaped, heart-shaped pieces, from up there by where the fronds are. Are they called fronds? You know. So I went out to a parking lot in the hurricane-esque force, gusty winds, and I heard the slap, slap, slapping on the ground, and I turned around, and the palm trees are bending, and the microwave-sized pieces of whatever that is started slapping on the ground. But I took a video of it, and my hair is going wild in the wind. But I tried to upload it last night, and it failed. I had to... Hi there. I'm sorry, chat runs by, and I didn't see who just said hi. Oh, Coho Val. Hi. Hello. Alan. Braden. Hello, Wildcat, everybody. You're waiting for Smitty? I told Smitty to be here. He's the one who I was talking to on the road. He told me the breaking news about PG&E. People might be wondering when I'm going to get to the point. But, hey, Tiger Lily. Hi, how are you? And thank you, everybody who gave me little bits of gas money. I've needed it. My God. Gas was $5.35 in Tahoe. Oh, God. I just filled up for $4.15, and I think that's a bargain. I turned around. Yeah, Smitty should be here any moment. Then we'll have the gang back together, and we'll it's like the Beatles getting back together. C-Probe, what's up? Yeah, C-Probe. Hi, hey, Bo. Juju, hello. Yeah, you live in Reno? Gosh, I almost made it to Reno. I was this close to going over to Reno, but if I did, I would have been stuck on the east side of the Cascades. So I do have a Costco card, but I don't. I haven't been near a Costco. I think maybe Jackson was the closest Costco. There was a Sam's Club. I did fill up using my aunt's Sam's Club thing, but I've been in the middle of nowhere. That's a long story. I've been on adventures. I arrived here on December 4th. I've been snowed in California because of the back-to-back storms, the atmospheric rivers. I've lost contact with John Stoker. He hosted me, and I'm really terribly worried about him. Um, he doesn't have power. He lost it the day after Christmas. I left the day before Christmas. I passed through his place. And I met a lot of people who, because of the avalanche and snow type stuff, I wasn't able to film like almost anything. That looks like fire devastation. I got some pictures. I got a slideshow ready to show people, spoke a lot with Sarah Luna, who's awesome and offered to host me, but I knew that if we were just stuck without power in her small cabin she has, it would be pretty bad since I'm allergic to her dogs. And I realized that I needed to go help my aunt and John Stoker at lower elevations. And so I passed through John's place. John got snowed in. He lost power the day after Christmas. He ran out of generator fuel. If you haven't heard the big news, this massive storm that happened right around midnight at Christmas dumped a huge amount of snow on the foothills as well as the mountains. Eat the fries. Yeah, you're right. I forget that on stream too. Okay, they're still somewhat lukewarm. We can salvage this. I'm sorry about my stuffed up nose. I've been wanting to go live and stream, and I wanted to do a New Year's thing. And the internet was so spotty at my aunt's the last few days. I said, screw this noise, and canceled her internet service and signed her up for new ones. I wired her house for the internet and got her a Wi-Fi 6 router. And just as I set that up and it would have been good for streaming, that's when the weather broke. Today the snow should have melted off the pass near Ashland, so I'll be going up the Siskiyou Summit route. Why am I gesturing with fries? I should be eating them. Yeah, we're eating dinner together. Yeah, dinner with Catherine. This is super healthy. You guys can live through me. I'll eat a couple McDonald's fries for you. I'll even lick the salt. Torin, hello. A palm tree tried to assassinate me. I think Zeus is at it again. Zeus tried to kill Torin and threw a lightning bolt right next to his house, and then the same storm threw a lightning bolt right next to my house last year. Hey, Smitty, welcome. Okay, we're all here now. We can talk about PG&E. Smitty's here. So Smitty had just told me as I was driving north, I had to wait until the rain melted the snow off the pass. I've got all-wheel drive and chains, but who wants to chain up? And so around noon, I got confirmation that the rain cleared the pass because they had heavy snow last night and a couple days earlier. Yes, I do have swollen cheeks. If you're wondering what's wrong with my voice too, my salivary glands are swollen. I've had strep throat. So sorry. Let me get sequential here. Do I have studded tires? No. Street tires, but I've got the chains. Yeah, that is true, Siri. When McDonald's fries are cold, they taste like wallpaper paste. Yeah. Yeah. When we wallpapered the cabin, I did taste it. But then again, I was 4, okay? That's odd. We just had that conversation the other day where my aunts were teasing me about this. So, yeah. I've been missing you, Torin. Where have you been for like months? Yes, exactly. Smitty, Desiree told Smitty, Smitty told me. PG&E breaking news. What's that word? Adjudicated. What's that mean exactly? Um, yeah, PG&E's equipment failure happened because of a tree that caused the Dixie Fire. So now the next step in the criminal justice system is to see if criminal charges are warranted in the Dixie Fire, just as they were in very recently in the Zog Fire, the one that happened over there. Because I'm in Reading, remember? So the Fawn Fire happened over there. The Zog Fire happened over there. So it's west versus east. And oh my God! So you've been affected by the storm too? It took down a tree. I can't go back and check, can I? Oh, I can. Siri Siri says the storm took down an 80-foot tree on the house next to me, and on the way down took out my Wi-Fi dish and smashed a greenhouse. Oh my God! I'm glad you're okay. I'm worried about John. He doesn't have power. I split a whole bunch of firewood for him, and then I'm sure he ran through it already. He doesn't have power. He couldn't get out of his driveway, let alone his street. They blazed a trail. PG&E is cutting down all sorts of the trees. I think he had 48 that went down by his road. He told me this story, and mind you, I just came from there. So he said by his mailboxes, there's a lady that lives down the street, and a tree hits her car. She's calling him and saying, "Oh no, one of my cars just got taken out by a tree," and then there was a crash, bang, boom. Second tree takes out her second car in the driveway. They're not prepared for the amount of trees that went down in this wind and slash snowstorm. Um, John was saying you could stay over again, and we probably have enough firewood, and we probably got enough food here for a couple of days. And my heart was screaming, "Go, get out! You'll be stuck in California mountains forever. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." And I didn't want to burden him. He's super awesome hosting me, but when you stay at somebody's place and eat all their food, it's not good. Um, but I contributed too. But you get the idea. And I'm glad I left. But then when I did hear back from him, he was in a bad way. He's like, I can't get the pharmacy. I can't get any gas for the generator. I can't get out of the driveway. Even if I could, we can't get down the street. The highway's blocked. Store shelves are bare. He's like, I charge my phone when the generator works. I'm trying to siphon gas out of my car and the neighbor's car. So I do hope he's okay. But I have not heard back from him again today. He was supposed to possibly get his power back. But there's many communities that are stranded where people are just sharing food with each other, and they're starting to run out of ways to heat their homes and going to neighbors to stay warm, because you can't leave the foothills right now. Colfax, Pioneer, Placerville type areas are super snowed in. Yeah, I'm glad you were all here. Yeah. So I am concerned. I'll try to reach him. What I wanted to do was go back to his place and bring some free firewood that I found out about in the valley, kind of by Oroville, and go back to his place, which is sort of by Placerville. And there's no way I could reach him. I would have brought gas and stuff. So I reluctantly stayed in the valley near Marysville. And that's where I just left today. I got delayed. I should have left early, but I needed confirmation that the rain made the passes clear. When I got that about 12:30, I had a series of delays that made me leave about 4:30. And wouldn't you know it, it's a small world. I go to a gas station and meet somebody who survived the Paradise Fire. That's the way it's been here. Where I just sort of randomly walk up to strangers and say, "Have you been affected by wildfires?" And a great majority of the time, the answer is yes. Um, Dairy Queen up here in Redding, have you been affected by wildfires? And she's like, yeah. So the fire came close to this place. And then I've heard about the other one. Remember how there were 3 fires in the same day that the Fawn fire happened? And then where she lived was over by where one of the smaller ones started with those idiots, I guess. Remember how we were watching on the cameras? So the thing about California here is if you're up here, almost everybody's been affected in some way, or knows somebody. It's not that much of a coincidence. There's just that many fires have happened in the last 6 years. Yeah, Desiree, hey, thanks for the tip. Smitty told me, and I said, you know what? We should try going live from McDonald's and see if this works. You would think they would block the IP address of YouTube to keep people from using up their Wi-Fi, but then maybe it's a calculated decision where they want people to live stream from McDonald's because it's like the best free advertisement or something, right? I figure I'm using their Wi-Fi, so I'm doing them a favor, showing them the treats, and people are probably hungry for fries. I have fries, I forgot. Crap. So, want to hear about the rest of my adventures? Anyway, good job, Cal Fire. I think it was Cal Fire, Desiree, didn't Cal Fire make the announcement about PG&E's equipment and tree negligence starting the Dixie Fire? Because they're silent about the Fly Fire, which people think the Dixie Fire was 1 fire and it was 2. Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry, I need to not gesture with fries and actually eat them. The Fly Fire is the one that really turned the Dixie into a gigantic, unstoppable monster, which was stopped by rain. Because the Fly Fire, if you remember right, before Greenville went down, they were getting a good handle on it. The Dixie had an ember float across the south side of the Feather River Canyon. It went to the north side. It started climbing up the hill, getting above, it was right about the time we lost Indian Falls, or most of it. It started climbing up towards the Round Valley Reservoir, and they were trying to stop it there. Hello, Eka. Hi. Hello. How are you doing? They were making good progress, and then they had to drop part of their what they were doing to stop it from getting towards Greenville and Crescent Mills, because the Fly Fire erupted. If you leave out Quincy, I think it was over by Ketty, wasn't it? And that turned out to be power lines. Whether or not there'll be criminal charges or anything related to that, whether or not it was negligence or some freak accident, at this point negligence is pretty much the safest bet in the world. It's almost like betting on red and black with PG&E these days. You know, did PG&E negligently start a fire again? It's like red and black. The only way you could lose with that roulette bet is if the ball left the little spinny area, or somehow got stuck and didn't land, in between. So I'm very curious though, because the Dixie Fire could have been contained to the canyon, but after the Fly Fire, they had to split their attention. They had to rush to save both Quincy and Crescent Mills and Taylorsville at the same time. It overwhelmed and burned over the mountain where the camera was. The camera survived, and from that moment on, that's pretty much what doomed Greenville, because they didn't have enough time and enough people to save all those communities, and one of them had to lose. If they had been able to just focus on preventing the fire from climbing up to Round Valley Reservoir, who knows, Greenville might still be here. The Dixie Fire might have been extinguished, or at least contained, but we'll never know, because in the middle of that, the Fly Fire started. It merged with the Dixie, but people have already forgotten that it was two. So, we'll see if they mention the Fly Fire. That would be a good thing to contact ABC 10 about and say, is that inclusive of the Fly Fire? Because that was Dixie Fire Part 2. Yeah, hey Eli, hello. Robin Banks, thanks for the report. I heard the news that CAL FIRE blames PG&E for the Dixie. It's official. Yeah, it's official as of what, an hour ago. When I first heard that, I wanted to pull over, but... Oh, really? NM says Newsom and PG&E and CEO are good friends. Shocked but not surprised if that's true. Political corruption in California? No. Mountain Man 530 says, I am in Westwood. The fire came within 4 miles of the town. Yep. We organized an early evacuation of Westwood, and we should all be proud of that. I think we gave people 4 hours of advance notice. Like, you're not evacuated now under orders, but you're going to be. And I'm so glad that we were able to do that. That was reckless endangerment, in my opinion, telling people of Westwood when they had less than 2 hours to leave safely to take the road north, and then they immediately told people the road north is in danger, and the fire crews that almost got overwhelmed there, fleeing for their lives south. You know, that wasn't a good thing. Vita for Life says PG&E is trying to raise rates in California by around 20% to fix their own mess. Yeah. And M says they were both at the French Laundry restaurant during lockdown last year. You know, I haven't seen Firepower and Money. I've seen snippets, but I was too busy actually covering the dang fire to like be watching that. Oh, Alan, thank you for the gas money. It's the cheapest gas I found was $4.15 a gallon, and I got excited about it. I got super excited about it. This is how bad it's been. And Tiger Lily, thank you for your support. Thank you everybody who has helped me with the gas money to get here. It hasn't been a total loss. I haven't been able to film much because of all the equipment problems, and not only that, but the moment I was ready to go into the mountains, it snowed. Sea Probe was going to fly us around in an airplane to film the Dixie and the Caldor. He's awesome. I went with Sea Probe to meet Sarah Luna, and then I had to drive Sea Probe back down to Placerville, and I didn't realize that would give me altitude sickness to go up and down the mountain passes so many times in a few days. So here's the COVID story. Yeah, I'll find that French fry later, probably mummified in the car. It went in between the shifter and the crack there. Please remind me that that's there, guys, so I can fish that out. Okay. All right. Eli Hunter says, I miss the days when it was just forest fires and not all these residential. Yeah. I long for the days when we don't hear weird stories about barrier and except on April Fools. That would be a. Has the world always been weird, or is my nostalgia just gone wild? Then again, like if we long for the past too much, it might be bad. I mean, the Japanese in World War II tried to send balloon bombs with incendiary, balloons with incendiary bombs on them to start forest fires in the 40s. So the 40s were definitely not the good old days. I heard a recent story about that too. I'll have to jog my memory. I'm sorry, I'm on the cold medicine. So I got terribly sick. Here's the COVID story. I arrived in California on the 4th, perfectly healthy. Well, as healthy as I am. And then went to a family function a couple days later. That was a lot of people in a big room. It was cafeteria style. And then we discussed things, and almost everybody I knew um, in the room had the booster shots, and I already had COVID, and I was sitting at a table with people who had already had COVID, and I was one of them. It was totally mild for me and mild for most of the people at the table. Um, and then I went, I mean, I don't mean had COVID like I now. I mean, we've had it in the past. I had it when it first came out, you know. Um, I was in one of the first outbreaks on the West Coast. So that was January 2020, late January. And so I'm not worried about getting it. I'm worried about spreading it. You know, I don't want to do that to anybody. So um, then I go up to Tahoe. Sarah Luna invited me up there. She's awesome. Um, CPRO said we can't fly. There's too much ice on the wings. You know, kind of a issue. You know, a potential. Excuse me, guys. Like I said, I've got a cold. And I said, yeah, we're going to play it safe for sure. But so awesome of him to offer. Then he goes, shall we drive? And I'm like, yeah, let's drive. So we meet in Placerville because my car's an SUV. That's going to be good for the snow. And his totally wasn't. And thank God I downloaded a whole bunch of topographic maps at that McDonald's, because whatever you say about McDonald's, their Wi-Fi is really good. I mean, that's a testament what we're doing here, right? And oh crap, I paused chat. I had no idea that chat was still going. It was like stuck there. So yeah, Desiree said California was 470 near me. Well, yeah, Tahoe was 535. I think I took a picture of that. I thought it was a joke. It was not a joke. Leave it. Those fries become emergency rations. I've got a lot of rations here. I'm gonna eat the fries. Oh, you mean the one that fell in the stick shifter? Yeah. Okay. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I didn't have any black-eyed peas on New Year's Day, so you know, some of my worst years I did that. So maybe because I didn't, I'll have a better year. Oh God, yeah, and the Colorado thing. What can you say about that? We lost. I tried to upload a video and it didn't work on New Year's. And I said this, and I'll get back to my COVID story. I said, raise a glass, you know, for Betty White, um, and pour, you know, sorry, I said pour one out for Betty White, pour one out for all the everything we've lost during the wildfires, and raise a glass to having a better year, we hope, and to honor all their memories, you know, for everyone we lost. And my God, I feel so bad. You know, it's New Year's Day, and we've lost 2 more communities to wildfire in the very last day of 2020. And all I could say is, you know, people were wondering if that's unusual that wildfire hits in winter, and I said no, it's not unusual. Santa Ana and Diablo wind season for California is winter and late fall. It's October through late January. And it's just a phenomenon where wind rolls off of the mountains. The jet stream changes, and so Colorado has its own version of the equivalent of the Santa Ana winds. Firefighters will tell you that for some reason structure fires are more intense in winter. And it's a simple reason. It's because cold air is more oxygen rich. I learned that randomly by studying metal, and long story about that, scrap metal type thing. The Bessemer steel process is what made steel mass produced in an economical way, which revolutionized the world. So Henry Bessemer, whoever patented that, And the patent was really simple. It was tubes of cold air that went into the furnace in the smelter. So he was making stronger, better steel, cheaper. And same thing goes with a structure fire or a wildfire. Paradise burned down November 8th. The Cascade Fire was mid-October. You got cold mountain winds and you've got a disaster if the ground is dry, if the fuels are dry. You have an ignition source and you have towns gone in 4 hours. So that's, if somebody asked me the question, is it unusual to have wildfires take out towns in winter, I would have said yes years ago when I was fire ignorant, but now that we know more, it's pretty typical. It's just luck. These windy conditions that take out towns. Wasn't the Oakland fire in winter as well? These windy conditions exist several times throughout the winter, but it's mostly luck. They typically are wet. But unfortunately, with what happened in Colorado, that storm system pushed wind first and snow arrived second. And that's all it takes. I will be very interested in what the ignition source was and what went wrong there. That'll be studied for sure. But my God, I'll return to the COVID story. I'm happy, not happy, but I don't know how to describe this. Vindicated that CAL FIRE is calling out PG&E for the Dixie Fire. Because I guess I am happy in a way, because that really can lead to criminal charges. If you don't know anything about PG&E, they've started most of the town-destroying fires of California in the last 6 years. So we're talking about the serious ones. Through negligence, 40 years of neglected maintenance. Let's just let power lines fall down and fail. That was revealed in some internal memos, according to the media. That's really a bad policy for you and me. It's great for the bottom line, but it's not good for people or the environment. So, Alan T says for French fries too. Thank you, Alan. Sorry. Big Dog. Hello. Nico 1690 says, you probably had this question asked a lot this evening. Can someone give me a rundown on the news? The PG&E news? I think I just did. CAL FIRE saying that PG&E started their equipment failure, their tree maintenance negligence, whatever caused the Dixie Fire. As far as I can just tell, thumbing through the latest news. Here's the way that the New York Times explains it. PG&E equipment is blamed for starting the Dixie Fire in Northern California. Fire investigators referred their findings to prosecutors. Blah, blah, blah. The Dixie Fire, the second largest blaze in the state's history. No, actually, it's the largest. We should differentiate a fire with a single ignition point versus those fires that are actually where multiple wildfires just burn together. So California's largest wildfire was the August complex, which I covered, of course, live as it happened last year. Unfortunately, they already had stuff going on in Santa Rosa and other places, and then the August complex was a series of lightning strikes that went north of San Francisco in the Coast Range Mountains. And all those lightning strike fires happened at once with the same lightning storm. And because there was other things going on at the same time, fire by Calistoga / Santa Rosa, and then PG&E started the Zog fire, their equipment did. They neglected to remove a tree that was hollow. They gave a rubber stamp of everything's okay to a hollow tree that was leaning. That rotted out tree went over on power lines because they did not de-energize the lines, even though there were multiple fires already burning in California and it was red flag and all that. They kept the power lines on near Redding, over there. And the Zog fire started because that hollowed out tree fell on the lines last year. And then some people did not make it out. So, including mother and her 8-year-old daughter in the car, they did not make it out. So, while I was still doing Firestream in October, that's when Shasta County, I believe this is Shasta County, district attorney read live that they will be slapping the charges on PG&E for involuntary manslaughter or something. Let's see. I forget the exact charge. I really wish negligent homicide was on the table, because killing 86 people in Paradise, which PG&E started, and they nearly killed my brother in that one. Then they killed people in the year before, killed my family friend in the Cascade Fire. Then they started the Zog Fire, killed people again. Then they start the Dixie Fire, and they nearly kill a lot of people in Greenville. They barely made it out. Indian Falls, etc. Why in the world isn't negligent homicide a charge on the table? I don't know. Maybe they think that a lesser charge sticks better, or maybe you can't charge a corporation with homicide. I don't know how this works. However, because Shasta County went ahead and charged them with whatever manslaughter thing, in the Zog Fire, I do assume that criminal charges will be brought against PG&E, because Butte County is still pissed. They are, excuse my language, they're still very angry. They're still very angry about Paradise. They're still very angry about the Cascade Fire, which technically could have been Sutter County, but it's next door. And they couldn't do anything to PG&E except charge them, give them a $10,000 fine because of the legal system the way it is. You can't give CEOs jail time, even though their decisions kill people. Anyway, let's read more of the news. This is the New York Times. The Dixie Fire burned more than 963,000 acres. Yeah, that number. Nearly 1 million acres in Northern California, in Butte, Plumas, Lassen, Shasta, and Tehama counties in July. Oh, not just July in New York Times. I got to make a small correction. July, because it started on July 13th. Then in August. And in September. Okay. And I think it was early October. Was it late September or early October when that rain happened? I forget. So I would amend this to, over the course of 3 months, destroyed nearly 1 million acres in those 5 counties, destroying 1,329 buildings and damaging 95 others. The cause investigators determined was a tree that came into contact with PG&E's power lines near the Cresta Dam, about 100 miles north of Sacramento. Just look up Pulga, P-U-L-G-A, on Google Maps. It's a rock throw away from where they started the fire that took out Paradise. Excuse me, their equipment started the fire which took out Paradise. Rickety, ill-maintained is one of the, or not maintained is a good way to describe the power lines going through that canyon. Remember, the equipment that failed in the Paradise Fire was like a hook holding important things on the power lines, and the hook swung around in the wind like this for, what, 92 years? And it wore away all the metal on the hook until it went that night of the firestorm. And was that November 8th, 2019? Almost 2020. It was like the horrible introductory chapter to 2020. So, reading more of the New York Times. Investigators at the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, known as CAL FIRE, referred their findings to the Butte County District Attorney. They're still mad. Who previously brought charges against PG&E for the 2018 Camp Fire, the Paradise Fire, which killed scores of people and destroyed the town of Paradise. Okay, New York Times, another correction. Paradise, Pence, Concow, Tolga, Magalia, Centerville, Irishtown, Hilltown, and a couple others that I'm forgetting. Okay, that wasn't just Paradise. It also roared right up to the doorstep of Chico, which was a fight all on its own. And I have relatives that lived on the east side of Chico that have had to evacuate that one. So it also jumped I-5 and started running across farmlands. It was not just a forest fire. It was a fire of the foothills, the oak savanna foothills. Made its way down, blew down to the farmland. Tried to take out the Butte County capital of Chico. Went around it where they kind of protected Chico. Jumped I-5. I've got some video of me filming out the window when I was down there. And then when the wind went back up the canyon the next day, it pushed it into the canyon and up into the mountains. So it was a mountain, foothill, valley, farmland, grassland fire. It was a multiple terrain type fire. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I can't see it. I'm trying to read this. So the rest of the news in the New York Times, these are my corrections of their article. In that case, PG&E pled guilty to 84 felony counts of involuntary manslaughter and 1 felony count of illegally setting a fire. That was during the Camp Fire, the Paradise Fire. The utility also agreed to pay $3.5 million in fines as part of a criminal plea, and that is what turned Pacific Gas and Electric into a felon. It's a corporation that is also a felon on probation. And they were on probation already when they started the Zog Fire, I believe, just in 2020 last year, which killed people. They still are on probation for sure when the Dixie started. So they're repeat offenders. I'm not making that up, and I'm not being all cute. It's factual. PG&E has charges pending in Shasta County, where the district attorney has charged the utility with manslaughter. Looks like it was a manslaughter charge. I forgot that. Along with other felonies and misdemeanors in connection with the Zog Fire, which burned more than 56,000 acres and destroyed 204 buildings near Reading. And that's the one where 4 people died. And it was that heartbreaking thing we were listening to live where people were, burn victims were crawling on hands, knees, and elbows down the road next to burned up animals. And those didn't make it. Since 2017, which is when the Cascade Fire happened, which burned our family friend and our old neighbor to death in his house. In the Cascade Fire, since 2017, PG&E has been the focus of the state's extreme wildfires that have been made worse by climate change. Thank God that New York Times just mentioned that climate change is not an ignition source. It's a climate trend. It's temperature and dryness. But these fires don't have to start. They don't. You should not be careless in a dry summer, right? Everybody gets that as common sense. So you can't have a corporation carelessly starting fires and just not giving a damn in this climate crisis. That's common sense too. This is why we should all be very concerned. If people are like, no, it's the climate, or no, it's PG&E, it's both. You can't have this reckless endangerment of the public from anybody in a climate crisis. This is the worst time to have it, and that's why we're having the worst fires. So if you completely minus the fact that the August complex was a complex fire, meaning many wildfires converged, all those lightning strike fires merged together because the firefighters were getting ready to fight them, and they had to go off and fight the Zog. So the August complex became California's biggest. And it may not have if the firefighters could have just fought the normal lightning strike fires that happen every year. But what's been happening is they've had to drop what they're doing to save communities, because PG&E starts 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or even more than that every single year with their neglected maintenance of their history of neglected maintenance and 40 plus years of it. The rickety power line situation and their refusal to de-energize lines in extreme fire danger. They do it sometimes, but they didn't do it during the Zog, and that's why people died. So I'm illuminating the New York Times article. This is no news to anybody who's watched the stream a lot. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. But why do I want PG&E nailed to the wall here? Because nothing will change unless let's put it this way. A criminal's behavior doesn't change until they meet consequence. If you tell somebody there's no consequence except like maybe you have to dig pocket change out of your pocket and pay a fine, that doesn't influence a criminal's behavior to stop what they're doing and protect the public. They're like, oh, pocket change. Wow, I thought it was going to be a severe penalty. I'll just hand over the pocket change. And that's what $10,000 is to a corporation like PG&E, which is publicly traded and worth millions, or at least used to be. You have to hurt them in the pocketbook. You have to make them actually responsible for what they do. Otherwise, it's you and me, the taxpayer, paying for it. And we shouldn't. You know, this is all kinds of wrong. But it'll be made right by the justice system if we're lucky. So, I'm on the side of justice. And it's not just a grudge. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not very happy about losing a neighbor and family friend to wildfire. And I'm not very happy that my brother was a missing person that morning from Paradise until he checked in. I'm not very happy about the environmental destruction, the destruction of everything I've known in childhood, pretty much in Plumas County. I'm not happy about those things. But it's not because I'm mad that I want justice. I want justice because I want change. This is how it's going to come about. Holding them accountable. If we do not, we're facing a very, very bad future for California. We're running out of counties that haven't almost been obliterated by fire, at least in the northern half of the state. And we just lost 52% of Plumas National Forest and pretty much 52% of Plumas County. I mean, if you look at all the structures, we lost the majority of them, at least in Indian Valley. We can't go on like this. The environment can't sustain this. The state can't sustain it. Something has to give. So I am hoping that change comes fast and soon. Back to the New York Times article. Since 2017, PG&E has been the focus of the state's extreme wildfires that have been made worse by climate change. Thank you for mentioning that both things are a factor. The company has taken numerous steps to prevent wildfires, including installing weather stations and cameras. Okay, that's nice. That doesn't prevent fire. You can watch them now. I just read this. I'm sorry, that is my reaction live. I'm not being cute. The utility has resorted to the extreme measure of cutting off power, sometimes to millions of people for days. But that's good. I praise them for that when they actually follow through on their promises. That is the only ethical thing to do. If you know that your power lines are rickety and they're bound to fall over at the push of a feather or a sneeze, you better turn off the power during red flag days, during 110 mile an hour wind days. Otherwise, you just get repeat paradise again and again when they didn't, like in the Zog fire. That's what happens. So that is good. Praise where it's due. When they've actually followed through with it, that's been good. The thing that New York Times is not mentioning is they sometimes don't follow through with it with deadly consequence. After PG&E amassed $30 billion in liability from the wildfires caused by its equipment, the utility sought bankruptcy protection in January 2019. The company exited from bankruptcy in July 2020, promising to work to prevent further wildfires. Yeah. When did the Zog break out? Right about then. That was one heck of an empty promise. Victims of the fires have continued to seek compensation for their losses and became part of the company's bankruptcy plan. Really? You're not going to mention the rest of this? New York Times? They conclude with the Dixie Fire, among at least 3 fires last year that were suspected of being caused by PG&E's equipment, underscored the lingering threat of wildfires caused by utility equipment. Oh yeah, they could have written a much bigger article than this. So that concludes the New York Times article that just came about, what, an hour or two ago? Yeah, 10:24 Eastern Time. I have no idea what it is now. Sorry, let me go back to chat. I'm sure like a million things of chat went by. Very sorry. Yeah, Cheryl Simpson says, Big Dog, been watching locals tell their story and it's heart-wrenching. Yeah, I just met a Paradise victim about 2 hours ago. I was at a gas station and he told me that he received 0 compensation from PG&E, and I was shocked. He couldn't prove he lived in Paradise. He was actually by Concal. Because all of his bills burned up in his trailer. So he had a trailer with some scrap metal, the scrap metal portion of it, the steel bed of it. But everything that he had done in the town, like, burned in the fire. And he was on, I don't know how he was renting, but that arrangement all burned up. So he couldn't prove it, and because of that technicality, he didn't get anything from PG&E at all. So that just makes me pretty mad. The more fire victims I'm talking to, sorry, I'm still sick, guys. The more I'm finding out they're not getting help. So we will definitely need to have a fundraiser. I want to make a video that explains the fundraiser. I would have liked to have done it before Christmas, but gosh, I was stuck down here. And I want to link to people's Kickstarters and GoFundMes and whatever they have. Because, like, I was talking with Sarah Luna, and she didn't get anything either. I think she got $350. And I can't believe it. So, yeah, it was a rental situation. So, I think what they needed was some sort of a rental agreement to prove residency, because you can have your bills in somebody else's name, even in another state. Like, if you play the game of, oh boy, Comcast just raised my, oh, thanks, John, thank you so much for the support. I can get home now with gas. Oh God, I put $20 into my car and I got 4.2 gallons of gas. You know, that's the way it is. So, um, sorry, I need to look at chat here too. So, I think what it was is if you play the game where, oh no, my internet bill was just raised again, but if I'm a new customer, it's like a third of the price. You can put your name, your bill in various people's names, as long as they're a roommate of yours. And so I think what his struggle is, and I didn't talk to him very long, might be related to that is, okay, a bill's in your name, but how do you prove you live there? We'll see. You know, that's why I need to interview people about this. Um, wait, somebody, what is the question? I'm sorry, Cheryl, I don't know what the question is if it's directed at me. Siri says, yes, cutting power is good, but Newsom and the California lawmakers trying to ban small gas engines and leaf blowers and stuff. Yeah, because of what? Carbon or something? But why don't you stop the wildfires? They release a lot of carbon. You know, if you have a climate goal, maybe not making so much pollution that New York City residents can't see the Statue of Liberty anymore because of the Dixie Fire smoke. That might be a good place to start. This is why I say we're on this together, liberals, conservatives, and endangered species moderates like myself, who live in the dangerous in-between land. We can all come together on this and agree that wildfire is bad. It achieves nobody's goal to have monstrous, raging, out of control monster fires that incinerate the landscape. Yeah, heavy rain's on the way. Yeah, big dog, I should probably drive again. I'll be coming in at like 3 in the morning. Oh, Wildcat, good night. Sorry if that was a little bit ago. Oh, that was several minutes ago. Okay, sorry guys, I'm getting used to this. This is the first phone live stream I've ever done. Except for that time I looked at my computer, I think. Yeah, Smitty's talking about vacations. Yep. Yeah, Cheryl says I'm not being cute either. Right. Let me go back to looking at chat. And Jan Johannes Smith, sorry, butchered your name. Public Utilities Commission in California has no power. They got gutted by the wealthy politicians. Yeah, something happened. It's clear that something happened to screw up California, and I'm not even sure if I want to know. I just want to fix it. And we've seen what happens when when power companies are trying to make profit for shareholders and their monopolies. Yeah, we've been experiencing that. And no, sir, I don't like it. So sorry, I gotta tame my mane and put it back in a ponytail. I took this out because it got rained on. Now I think I'm sufficiently dry. I still have my COVID hair. Oh gosh, I was in the middle of the COVID story. You guys have to keep me on track. I still have ADD. That never changed. So, going back, if anybody has any questions about the PG&E update, you know, if you just tuned in or anything like that, let me know. The bottom line is that Butte County, CAL FIRE said that PG&E's equipment started the Dixie Fire. No word on the Fly Fire, which was the second half of the Dixie. That was also power line stuff. Yeah, look how long my hair is. I never got a haircut since COVID. I kind of needed one at the time, and so I've got a mane here. It really gets in the way. I can't recommend hair this long. It sounds like a good idea. It's not. You know, you lean over when the sink is clogged and fish in there for the whatever's stuck in the garbage disposal, and you find it, and it happens to be, of all things, a fish bone. They're delicate and small, but for some reason garbage disposals can't handle them. And you go, aha, perfect. And then you turn on the garbage disposal, and that's when your hair goes. Because it's stuck down there, because it's that long, and it comes out like all at the end, it's a hazard. You know, it's a hazard. So I'll have to finally get it cut by somebody. But for now, the mainstays. And we just got to live with it. And the French fry and the gear shifter. You know, first world problems. Okay. So the COVID story. I leave John Stoker's area in the foothills, elevation around 4,000 feet. He's kind of by Placerville. And I made it down to the, oh, hey, Chimp 6, how are you? Yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. Oh yeah, Coho Val, I'm sure that's a huge part of it, is the burned trees coming down under the weight of snow. But you know, it was fierce wind. That was, Big Dog says, I cut mine myself since COVID started. Oh, you cut your own hair? That's got to be some awesome pictures. Yeah. Or Coast Green Man says if they had more liability insurance required, their insurance would make them do maintenance work. Bing, 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 bing. There you go. What if they had to provide fire insurance for their customers? I think that's a great idea. If they have to co-sign fire insurance for their customers, they'd be really proactive about preventing fires. I'm pretty sure about that. But we can have a brainstorming session later about how to fix all this. Jan Johannes Smith says, I'm 59, going strong. I just submitted my application to Mountain Forest Enterprises to cut more fire fuel up north. I will make $21 an hour. No, I don't do it for the money. Well, you're an unsung hero too, just like the water tenders and the people that don't get the, don't get the attention. Yeah, I missed you guys. Man, I missed all of you. I'm so glad to see so many people. Good to see you. Are you working on the documentary? Yeah, I was trying to, and when I get home, I'll go live. Not tonight, because I'm sure I'll be tired. It's now 9:20. Yeah, it's been an hour. This is my hour-long 20-minute stream. But this has been good for me to recharge my batteries. This is a huge amount of caffeine. And wow, I'm feeling it. And this will be when I need to drive home. I may be able to go live from a different restaurant that I know further up on I-5 if you guys are night owls. I plan to get a decent meal and not, the fast food. And there's a really special little place I can introduce you guys to. And you can watch it in the morning if you're going to go to bed. But I'm sorry if I missed anybody's... yeah, Oregon Coast, or Coast Green Man. Yeah, we could definitely have an awesome conversation. Charred biomass sequesters a lot of carbon. Yeah, but we got to think about this. Biomass that is dead can no longer convert carbon to oxygen. So you can't just regrow 52% of the Plumas National Forest. We lost way too much forest to for anything like that. COVID story, thank you. Okay. Let me turn on the heat here. Now I'm cooking myself. Okay, timeline. I arrive down to California, stay at my aunt's place, She's over by Marysville, sort of. Go to a family reunion thing, um, and nobody showed up who had any symptoms. Like nobody showed up sniffling or anything. We played it pretty safe that way, and pretty much everybody in the family is vaccinated and careful as careful can be. And the county down here did not enforce masks in any public place. So I was shocked. I've been wearing a mask every single day that I've ever been outside since January 2020. And I was shocked that California had given rules where you don't have to wear them, at least some counties. So here I am going to Walmart, with the N95 and my gloves and everything. And I walk in and there's people maskless everywhere. I would say only about a fourth of the customers wearing them, but all the employees. And I was just shocked going, okay. And Omicron is here, okay. So then I didn't see almost anybody except for C Probe, Sarah Luna, and people in a pizza place that mostly was empty when we were in Tahoe. And C Probe, I got that video still. It didn't upload right, and it's hilarious. C Probe and I were at a pizza place wanting to say, hi, we're in Tahoe. I've got it still. It's saved to the phone, but didn't have Wi-Fi. And that's when I arrived there, that my phone blew up with all of the warnings to get out of the mountains or be prepared for a week of being snowed in because they might get 9 feet of snow. And then an avalanche warning happened because of all the dead trees especially. So my heart compass, the one that tells me just go somewhere, started going wild. And I did not want to put Sarah Luna out for a week of potentially being snowed in with her without any power. I'm allergic to her dogs. She was so sweet in offering me a place to stay. She hooked me up with like free lodging, at a casino. She was amazing. And yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about COVID in Oregon. That's bad. Oregon didn't have too many problems, probably because it had crazy mask rules, and it's not that populated as a state, honestly. But so here's the timeline still. I go to the family reunion thing, and nobody was allowed who had symptoms, and nobody would have done that anyway. Nobody would have shown up. And so I then go with C Probe to Tahoe. He spends one day there, one afternoon. So my altitude sickness happened this way. I go up the Siskiyou summit, go down to valley level, and then I went up to Placerville days later to that's like 4,500 feet. Met C Probe there. We carpooled with Sarah Luna up to Sierra Tahoe, then to Tahoe. We went over Echo Summit, which is 7,000 feet almost. And then I had to take C Probe back to his car, so I drove up Echo Summit again, went down to Placerville to 4,000 feet, went back to Tahoe over the 7,000 foot Echo Summit again, stayed the night in Tahoe, and then I realized I'm sick. Like, I am not feeling well. The next day I went over Echo Summit again to film what I could kind of by Sierra Tahoe and Strawberry. Went over Echo Summit again and stayed the second night in the hotel she hooked me up with, and then I was like, oh God, I don't feel good. And I started worrying about COVID. Like, I have a sticky sore throat thing. My ears are crazy. Hey, Sarah Ann Mentor Hall. Hello, you're from Pines. Did I meet you recently? That's cool, if so. I've met some people. And I'm glad Pollock Pines made it. And so when I was in that hotel, I started looking at my symptoms, but they didn't really match COVID. And I wasn't feeling like I did when I had COVID a year ago. So it turned out the symptoms matched altitude sickness. So that was a terrible idea to go up and down and up and down and up and down. I also didn't drink. I didn't drink enough water. Sarah says, how much water have you been drinking? And I'm like, I had half a water bottle today, and she goes, "Oh God, girl, you got to drink." And so I began drinking like gallons of water, and not it wasn't going anywhere. Um, my phone just gave me a notification about ABC 10. I love them. It's probably more about PG&E. Yeah, so I found out that you can get altitude sickness at Tahoe's elevation. It starts around 6,000 feet, and I had really confused my body, and I haven't been in the mountains in a long time. So, save ourselves. That's a good comment there. But I've got a plan for that too. We'll brainstorm what we can do for ourselves if we can't get the government to change much. But I hope we can change things with the government. That's what part of the goal is here. But back to the story. So I realized, phew, I don't have COVID symptoms. You know, I didn't have any of the thing. As soon as I hydrated, I felt better, and my heart compass was like, get out of Tahoe, get out. You know, every instinct in me was saying, this storm that's coming is bad. My ears began to just pop. Sarah Luna took me as close as we could get to the origin of the Caldor. We got close, but snow had already been on the ground. It snowed the day before I arrived. And oh, hey Bugs, hey, hello, hey Polar, hey Urban, hi. Um, so then she was. I mean, it would have been cool to hang out with Sarah for a week. I mean, Sarah's awesome. And it was heartbreaking. She took me back to her house, the site of her house. Um, and I'll, I'll be able to tell more of the story later. Yeah, it's weird. When you're in the snow and at altitude, you're not thirsty. I was sipping on stuff constantly, but I would look at my water bottle and it wasn't really going down much. So, yeah. So the rest of the story is I realized to get better faster, we should go down to lower elevation. Anybody suffering from altitude sickness. Um, that's when I started dialing people like, hey, who's in the Reno area that can host me? Because I could go to Reno on the east side of Cascades, or I could go to the west. And I wanted to go on the west side so I didn't get snowed in. Um, to, not return to my aunt's place, because I had left a lot of my things there. Now it would be awkward to be like, bye, mail me my stuff. But my heart compass pointed west, like, go to the west side of the Sierras. And so that is what I ended up making as a choice. And John Stoker says, you can come stay with me. And other people offered me places too. So I left Tahoe at about 1 in the morning, made it over Kit Carson Pass just as the whiteout happened. And then that's when I couldn't see the line in the road anymore. That worried me a little bit. And so the nice thing about that was I was just about to turn around, go back to the hotel, and at South Lake Tahoe, when I saw tons of snowplows pass me, and they arranged themselves at every cross intersection, every cross street around the Kirkwood area, all along 88. So as soon as the snow was going to get deep enough to plow, they were going to be on it and start plowing. And I knew that I would be found if I had to pull over really quickly by one of those awesome guys working in the middle of the night doing the plowing. So I was probably the last person out of Tahoe. There was one truck ahead of me, and the people behind me, one by one, they pulled off and just stopped for the night, kind of by Kirkwood. And the snow blowing across the road in 55 and 60 mile an hour winds was pretty nuts. Smitty is a kid. Who knew? Yeah, good one, big dog. Confirmed, he's 8. Just kidding. Um, so, but my car handled things pretty well. It was not a wet, slidey situation. The anti-lock brakes, I did a brake test, and it wasn't icy. It was, navigable. So I pushed through, and just as I thought, man, this is a whiteout, I should pull over, it says Kit Carson Pass, 8,000 feet. And I'm like, deja vu, I was just here earlier today. Oh, and that's another thing that screwed me up with the altitude, is we went over Kit Carson Pass at 8,000, went down to Grizzly Flats, went back up over Echo Summit again in the same day. So I don't know how many mountain passes I went over in the course of 72 hours, but it was a lot. When did you eat? I don't know, about 20 minutes ago. Those fries are cold, but I've got a pretzel. I got a pretzel. And it's time for cold medicine. This is the best stuff. We're all children at heart. Oh, yes. Big hugs. It's time for hugs. Big dog and Big Daddy, do your duty. And dispense hugs. And thank you for the eat reminder. I have provisions. You guys remember that the bucket of M&Ms when I shook it on stream? And I said, did you know that Costco makes buckets of M&Ms? It's taken me a few months, but this keeps your blood sugar when you're driving. And I have healthier snacks too, but oysters have gone through the roof. I can't believe it, but you buy 2 tins of smoked oysters, and it's beyond $5. So I just opened the foil thing, and it launched the gel cap. I wish this was on camera. It launched the gel cap onto the back of my hand, and I caught it there like a bird sitting on my hand. That was funny. It was like I wanted to reach out and grab it, but I was still holding this, and one was still in the tray. So when it popped out, I went like this, and the gel cap goes. Weird things happen to me. You're gonna love the palm tree story when I upload it. Okay, COVID story. We're in the middle of the COVID story, right? Okay. I'm turning into a junk food junkie. I was eating great. I was eating smoked salmon, okay? Walmart had good smoked salmon, and I don't typically like to shop at Walmart. I'm not like oh yay, Walmart. But I gotta admit, when you need affordable food, when it's not affordable, that was the nearest store, and they have some amazing smoked salmon. So I was eating smoked salmon on bagels, cream cheese, and John Stoker is a good cook. He taught me tricks about making the world's best French toast. When we got snowed in, we made the best of things. Pancakes, waffles. Let's see, I made him some tacos. I showed him the secret of tacos. Scam bait nonsense says stay safe and warm out there tonight. Yep, I will. I'll try to go live from another town just a bit north of here. So I really should get back on the road, but I wanted to take medication and eat and stuff. John Stoker, the mod from the stream, he didn't know me. He just knew that I was in Tahoe and offered me a place to stay, and I said, I'm coming. Robin Banks says, at night, I'm a junk food junkie. Lord have pity on me. That's a song from before your time. But what if I'm an ancient vampire? Is it really before my time? Can you tell if anybody is? I mean, you've never seen me in the daytime, have you? Just kidding. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Patricia. Yeah, anybody going to bed? Good night, and I'm going to try to stream from the next location. So yeah, I showed him the secret of tacos, and I made him a stew. We got stew meat. The prices of food are through the roof. We were like rationing the bacon because bacon's insane right now. Um, I gotta remember to take this. Sorry. Sister Golden Hair and I were gonna go live on it for a New Year's thing. Then I was sick as a dog. Like, excuse me, guys. I could barely talk. But anyway, the COVID story. You're welcome in BC, Catherine. Food is expensive here too. Oh, thanks, Cheryl. We're out in BC. I love Vancouver Island. That's a cool place. Um, as a child, I went to BC and we saw a circus, and it was really cool. And I lost my parents in the circus and cried and thought they left me. And I went up to a Canadian policeman and said, "Help, my parents left me." And they started laughing at me, and I was quite upset. Like, I was like, policemen are supposed to be nice. It was the funniest kid rant ever. And as I was ranting at the policeman, I was like, you can't laugh at me for my parents abandoning me. And I looked back and my parents were behind me. They showed up. And I said, "Huh, Ma." And then I went, "Mom?" And then they laughed even more uproariously at me. But the COVID story. So, yeah, thank you, Tiger Lily, for your awesome support. I'll tell you more about how that was utilized. But yeah, Sister Golden Hair, I was like, "Hi, sister, do you want to go live still on the, the, on the live stream?" And and then I barked like a dog coughing, and she goes, "No." Yeah, it was kind of like that. So I did not get her sick. But anyway, right after the snow cleared over at John Stoker's place, I went back down to the valley, and just in time for Christmas. And at Christmas, there was a congregation of a huge amount of family members, extended family, and the dinner was good, renewed the spirit. It picked me up, and it was the emotional boost I needed, because man, was I down. Going to family reunions where there's fewer and fewer family left is real hard. And so I was feeling good about that, and then the day after Christmas, boy, this bad sore throat happened, and I noticed that my cheeks had been swelling again. I think these are your salivary glands right here. They still are. I sound kind of like I'm wearing dentures, or like I'm wearing false teeth. I've done that for plays and stuff before, and I can't. It's almost like if you get peanut butter under here, And so I knew that was not an Omicron symptom by any stretch of the imagination. My ears wouldn't pop, and then my nose started to produce goo, as if it was wartime, and winning World War II depended on it. So once it went into wartime production, I started using 2 Kleenex boxes a day, and just attempting to speak just produced hacking. And then we started getting word that other family members were sick. They all came down with the same symptoms right about a day or 2 after Christmas. So it could not have been the Christmas dinner where everybody got sick. And I'm racking my brain trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And my conclusion is probably just going Christmas shopping the last day, the night before Christmas. That's even still too early for me to have gotten symptoms. Most illnesses take about a week to 2 weeks to incubate, so it could have been the original early December family reunion. But we then got word that there was going to be a baby coming over to visit my aunt. Um, and so I said, look, I've got a sore throat. I don't think this is Omicron. I've vaccinated. I've had the original COVID. It doesn't mean I can't have Omicron, but I think I have strep throat. Cobra's saying is Omicron's incubation is 3 days. Thing is I had a bit of a sore throat already on Christmas, like the beginnings of it. So it can't be that Christmas was it. So we to be safe, I went and got a rapid test. And so I made this video about the rapid test, and I was like trying to upload it. Once again, my aunt's place had bad internet. Long story short, I'll show you that video later. I thought I was positive for about 3 hours. When you do the rapid test, and I signed myself up for a normal one, but that was going to be the next day. The kind I got at Walgreens has a pink and a blue line. And I made a video about this to help others, but if the blue line is here and the pink line is next to it on your strip, you're positive. So what happened with me is I had a blue line here and a pink line, faint pink color way over here on the test strip. And I was very confused by the instructions. They were contradictory. So I looked on the Amazon reviews, and somebody said, look, they had a misprint on their early batches. The FAQ on the website of the company explains what the pink line is and what that means away from the blue line. It's nothing. It means you're negative. You have to have a pink line next to the blue line. And so when I found that out, I realized I was negative. I kept my appointment, went to Walgreens, and I made a video of me chimney sweeping the nasals, and I got my results back the day before yesterday, or was it yesterday? I'm negative. So the weird thing is that somebody tested positive who came over to the house, but we think she's a false positive because her entire family is negative. She doesn't have any symptoms. So we're waiting to see if her test is a false positive. But I'm negative. I'm COVID negative. Either way, I don't want anybody to get my super strep throat. See, swollen salivary glands are a symptom of the sinus problem, the perpetual sinus problem I have. Yeah, bugs. I'm pretty sure this is a strep type of a bad sinus infection. The symptoms are gross. I won't elaborate on more of them, but let's just say I walked around with a cup because I got sick of going to the bathroom sink every minute or two. So anyway, this is the first day that I can talk without constantly hacking, and I'm struggling right now. If I wanted to clear my nose right now, I'd make really ridiculously disgusting noises. So I'm just sort of not doing that for your benefit. Let's see. Becky Johnstone says, with Omicron, you're most contagious 2 days before you have any symptoms. See, I didn't see anybody. I was basically in a quarantine situation with John Stoker. We didn't see anyone for like a week. So I could not have brought it to them because we didn't have contact with anyone in the foothills once we got snowed in. So if somebody else brought it to Christmas and spread it, several other family members at Christmas have also tested negative. And so the one lady's positive test is an anomaly. She has 0 symptoms. And she's fully vaccinated and got a booster somewhat recently, about a month or 2 ago. So we're waiting on our second test. But this is what's so scary about these days, is we don't know. you can't be 100% sure. These aren't 100% accurate tests. So I'm wearing this around. Even if it's just strep throat with my sinus problem, I don't want anybody else to get this. It's awful. It's god awful. So, anyway, Cheryl says, when I take the SkyTrain, they now have people in the trains watching for jumpers. Being in BC is no picnic. I only go once a week to visit my grandchildren. It's scary out there. Oh, God. Yeah. I sound crystal clear. I'm glad. I'm congested, but the noises I want to make right now to clear my sinuses, I'm sparing you guys a lot of horror. That's all I'm gonna say. Man, Syrianification says I was in healthcare a long time, so when I started, I was basically a truck driving nurse. But if it was cultured strep, seriously, nothing to mess with, antibiotics. I didn't have a culture. I haven't been able to see an actual doctor down here. It's gotten better. What I did is I did honey. I got honey and salt water. And once I did those treatments, it started getting better. Honey is so acidic that it kills most microbes on contact. That's why it doesn't go bad. They pulled honey out of Egyptian tombs, given it water, mixed it up, and it's still good. It's a really acidic thing. And so that actually does fight germs. The salt, similar thing, you know. So I did the best I could and flushed the nasal passages. Really? I'm coming in more 5x5 in the car than at home? That's weird. You know what I should have done, guys, is I'm sorry. I do have the headset. I didn't even think about putting that on. I would look weird in the car with that. Try honey and tea and salt water. Yeah, that's what I did, Cheryl, and that really worked wonders. Polar Vortex says, good story. I got a bug around the same time, same symptoms. I was working with my best friend. His whole family got COVID, and I tested negative. Thank goodness you're okay. Thanks. Yeah. Rain says coconut oil gargled to the throat is so medicinal and strong antimicrobes. You know, I could make a cocktail. I've got a lot of essential oils. I had lavender with me, but I should have brought myrrh and all that. Those are severely, strongly antimicrobial. They even kill MRSA. You know, myrrh oil is like getting out the nuclear weapon of natural healing. Baby Jesus was given frankincense, gold, and myrrh. The gold is the money, the frankincense and the myrrh are the medicine. So he's basically given the world's most expensive medicine at the time. That's because tree saps are how a plant defends itself from plant viruses, plant bacteria, and plant attacking funguses. And because they're antimicrobial in general, they work for human illnesses too. So when you're taking the essential oil, you're hyper concentrating many different plants, the sap of many different plants into one little bundle. So that's like making a super antimicrobial thing. And if you mix different oils together, you have a cocktail, and it's been more effective in some laboratory tests than straight up antibiotics. And it's the only thing that kills microbes like MRSA when antibiotics won't. The downside is they're topical only. You can't like inhale a mist and cure anything in your lungs. It's like apply it to your throat, apply it to a tooth, apply it to a cut, apply it to an open wound. But eating them and stuff is not going to really do anything unless you had a stomach bug, and even then it's unproven. So there's too much BS about, like, you know, people wanting to cure themselves of COVID. It's not going to help COVID, because it's that's replicating within your body. But anything like strep, you know, it will. They're very good for topical application. And this is not medical advice. This is just, I'm telling you what it does. And so, unfortunately, though, I didn't bring I didn't bring it. I thought I would be in California for 6 days, and a month later, here I am on the way home. So I'm gonna head out now. I don't want to tell you guys live which town I'll be in next, because there's the off chance a crazy person wants to ambush me. You got to be real with security these days. Um, it's happened to lady streamers before. So it's just not a good idea to broadcast, hi, this is the next place I'm going. See you there in an hour, you know. Um, but if the Wi-Fi is good enough, then I'll see you at the next town. It's now 10 o'clock. Boy, I'm going to make it home by like 5 in the morning. It's going to take a while to get to Washington, but we'll see. I'm taking it easy. You guys know that I'm a night owl. I slept in till like 11:30. And long haul truck driving stuff is what I used to do. So I know to constantly eat, keep my blood sugar up, keep taking the cold medicine, keep hydrating, keep walking, avoid the deep vein thrombosis by exercising and getting your legs out every once in a while. Yeah, good night, Cobra. Yeah, good to see everybody. I'm sorry if I missed any of the chat. It kind of goes by really fast, and if I poke at the phone too much, you're just going to see a finger, because the chat is like a finger. Don't dox yourself. Yep, on the road. Yeah. We just live in that world, you know. It's you gotta be careful. There's women out there starting fires, drinking bear urine, and there's other assorted dangerous people. So everything's weird, you know. Thanks everybody for being here in Torrent. If you're still around, please come back more often. It's great seeing you. I have a lot of footage to show you, not the incredible amount that I wanted to, but I at least can talk about the people I met, and I'll be coming back to California in about 3 to 4 months. I'm sorry that I couldn't see half of anybody that I wanted to. I could have met people right after Christmas if I hadn't gotten sick, but I did. And it was best to rest and, you know. So, let's see. Siri says, best cure is prevention, harden the body against a viral entry. Yeah. Well, you know, don't get exposed is the best way to not get it. So, yeah, good night, everybody who's going to bed, and I'll see the rest of you if live streaming works again. I cannot do it over 3G, 4G, whatever, because the Pixel 6 is not, and thank you everybody for the donations. $50 gas money to go home is helping out. This has been bleeding me. The gas money has been bleeding me, so I'm very grateful. I've got enough to get me over the border, and Oregon gas is way cheaper. Bugs is going to monitor you. I'm going to work all night. Cool. Yeah, I'm staying safe, and if I get tired, I'll just go and get a hotel. It's never worth it to drive tired, you know. But yeah, safe travels. Yeah, thank you. See the mark. Yeah. Vibrantly, love honestly, live vibrantly, love honestly, thrive passionately, arrive presently. That's a good one. I like that one. So, yeah, see you guys who are staying up, and I really honestly don't know how to do YouTube still. This is my confession. You're supposed to be able to like give messages to people, and I don't have any idea how that works. So I guess I could do a Twitter message. It's at K Wildfires with an S at the end, if I'm unable to go live. But I'll let you know from the next stop where that's going to be. So it's now almost 10 o'clock, and I've just realized there's almost no bathrooms that are open. California closed all the rest stops, almost all of them. Thank you. And most of the restaurants are not doing indoor dining, and most of them just closed. So I think I need to stop drinking and maybe hold it for a bit. But this is going to be an adventure. It's the winter of my discontent. but it could be so much worse, and I'm grateful it isn't. You know, we got to be grateful it's not worse. Also, we need to not say that because that invites the fates. They go, oh, watch what we could do. So, knock on wood vigorously. And that was a joke, Greek fates. Totally was. All right, thanks for being here, guys. Is Walmart still open? That's a good idea. It's a good idea. We are sharing messages. You're doing quite well. Love the humility. Yep. Thank you, everybody who's helped. 7 Feathers is clean and safe food and cheap gas. Yep, I've got a story about a pickle at 7 Feathers. Maybe I'll tell you guys that. All right, so I'm going to sign out now, get back on the road. Oh, thank you, whoever donated $10 more. I don't even know who did that, but thank you. It was Alan again. Okay, thanks, Alan. You're so sweet. You're awesome. And Elderberry helps. Katie Horton says, when you are sick. My neighbor was exposed to the family with COVID, and she has symptoms, and the test was sort of positive. Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, goodness. They've changed the reports on the Valley Fire, dropped the charges on the people they charged, but we got nothing but electrical. I saw the Cascade start from my charred property. The wind, oh, man. The wind blew west. Let's talk about that. Next time, come talk to me about that, Katie Horton, because the Bay Area stuff. Oh, McDonald's just turned off the beauty lights. They have some awesome lights here, but you see how bad I look without the beauty lights of the McDonald's? It was like a running LED that was this soft white color. Look how bad I look now. Oh my God. Okay, I'm getting out of here. But that's my cue to go, because I bet they turn off their router too. So thank you, everybody. See you on the road. Sorry I couldn't, make the documentary I wanted, but I chose the worst time in 18 years to visit this state. This is the worst Decembers for weather in 18 years. So funny. Oh, thanks, John. Rest those eyes, Cherry. Yep. But I will be safe no matter what. That's what matters on the road. Nobody ever fell asleep at the wheel and drove off the road and said, my gosh, I'm glad I saved $100 on a hotel, though. The car is totaled and I have 2 broken legs, but I'm glad I saved money on a hotel. Yeah, no chances. I don't do chances. Knock on wood. I'm wide awake. I'm just one of those night people. So here we go. I wish I could drive with you, but you know how unsafe that would be? Like, I scold other streamers who are streaming while driving. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Kitty Gonzalez says, my community had 0 warning. Depopulation. Oh no, what community was that? See, the mark says you're beautiful and the light is within, Catherine. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks. That's, you're rubbing my fur the right way. Keep going. Just pet the cat, I'm just kidding. But thank you for the kind words. And I love all of you. And I'm glad that we're all here in 2022. I'm not even going to say let's hope for a better year. I keep saying that, and I think what's best is that we prepare for anything. And if bad things happen, well, they will be a lot less bad because we're prepared. And so maybe we should just wish to be prepared and make that happen. And you bring an umbrella and it don't rain. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys at the next spot. You need a drive all night music mix. I'll send it to you in a sec. Okay, Robin, that sounds awesome. Giorgio Moroder, put that on the playlist. We're gonna need this, okay? We're gonna need part of the Matrix soundtrack, the one that was like doom 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 doom, when they're training. And we're gonna need Giorgio Moroder's The Chase. We're also gonna need let's see, what else could we get? Anything, Leonard Cohen, like the Sopranos theme song, that's good. Like, you feel like a gangster driving on the street. And we're going to need some, let's see, what else can we mix in? Yeah, let's do uh, we're gonna need some chill music too. So we're gonna need some Strawberry Alarm Clock or other sort psychedelic bands from San Francisco that are obscure. Rainy Day Mushroom Pillow, that's a good one. Um, let's um, let's do some Rolling Stones. Let's do like She's a Rainbow. That's a good one. Let's see, driving music. Um, let's see on the playlist. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make bad jokes here. But Led Zeppelin, of course. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, yeah. Bonobo, Awake. I like Bonobo. That's a good one. Fleetwood Mac. No, no, don't like them. Um, yeah, She's a Rainbow is tight, dude. You too? Yeah, we're gonna need some of that. What's that song where he goes, ooh, like a werewolf? And then NVIDIA made an actual video with a werewolf. That was pretty funny to show off the GeForce 3 card when it debuted. The Mamas and the Papas. No. All the leaves are brown. Shut up. I hate that. It gets in my head. No. Okay. As far as Led Zeppelin goes, just please don't include that one that they're talking about being in the snow. That one puts me to sleep. That's a little bit too chill. Cream, yeah, White Room. We can use some White Room. Tom Petty, yeah, rest in peace. I saw Tom Petty. That's a good story. We'll use some Last DJ. That was on my playlist. Um, you know what? To wake me up, we need some breakcore. Let's mix in some Modem and some. Gosh, there's a really obscure one on YouTube called. Um, gosh, Mammoth Stomp. It's amazing. Breakcore. That's good. That's really obscure. I'm really cool as a hipster. I'm into breakcore, and you guys have probably never heard of it. Just kidding. Graceland. Okay. Chicago and the Beach Boys. I have low tolerance for surf music, but for like an hour it'll work. Rockabilly, George Harrison, yeah, but George Harrison is a little too soothing, you know, and a little too sad much of the time. Okay, but My Sweet Lord will rock out to that. Um, but yeah, sorry, it's time to go. I will see you guys on the road, and I don't even know how to turn this off. Um, hopefully at my next stop. The Beatles and the Black Keys, yep. Hendrix, yep. All along that watchtower. And not Gold on the Ceiling. I like the other one. It's better. I saw the Black Keys. I saw Ringo and his all-star band. Peter Frampton. Yeah, Do You Feel Like I Do? We're going to mix that in, definitely. Um, and yeah, but Giorgio Moroder's The Chase. Yeah. Joe Satriani. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Um, I also like classical. I like epic music, like Two Steps from Hell, Moving Mountains. You understand that's a Hannibal of Carthage reference, right? Elephants, move mountains with vinegar, Juvenal. I'll read you that poem one day. Um, I even like Madonna's Die Another Day. That's oddly good for driving. Um, Live and Let Die. Holy crap. Sounds good in a good car stereo. Um, but Paul McCartney and Wings, Band on the Run, that sort of stuff is good. Tycho, Awake, yeah, Tycho, that good album. Take a Walk. The Walk song is really good. But, oh man, it can be hypnotic. 10 Years After, I Love to Change the World, that's good too. Um, the Cramps, That Will Keep You Alert, I don't know what that is. Powder on the Rim of My Snout. Okay. All right, really, I'm just delaying now. I gotta get going. So I'll see you at my next stop. I'm sure this X turns it off. The band? Yeah. Yeah, the band. John Stoker turned me on to a bunch of good music, and we'll have to remember what it is. He is into electronica. John Stoker, I had no idea he was a super sweet musician. In his house, he had it set up with a whole bunch of keyboards. He actually took a sample of my voice and remixed the name Catherine. It was crazy. I wonder if he still has that on his miniature keyboard sample thing. It freaked me out pretty good because, you know, he took my name and my own voice and walked it down the keyboard to the lowest tones, and it sounded robotic and horrible. But nevertheless artistic. So, anyway, but we'll have to jam with John Stoker sometime, and he'll have to work on the Catherine remix and make me some sort of a. I think I need a theme song, guys. Yeah. But on a serious note, at least the documentary will. So we'll need like a happy theme for like hanging out with Catherine theme, but we'll need a pretty dark one too. And one that grips the heart. Okay, so what about Eartha Kitt, Hurdy Gurdy Men? I don't remember that one. Katie Gonzalez, my dad was OES director under Governor Reagan, went to the floods, quakes, but not fires. Rare. Oh my goodness. Big Dog says, I'm trying to make the chat laugh. Yep. Okay. Here I go, guys. Gonna find a bathroom and then I'm gonna get out of Reading, and I-5 North is my trail. Thank God it stopped raining. Okay, it's raining more light, actually. But wish I could take you with me, but safe driving says no. So if they have good Wi-Fi, I'll see you soon in a couple of hours. Good night, guys, if not. And remember, hugs. Love you all. How do we turn this off?